What's the most you've lost in one option trade? Well, I think back. Okay. And forgive me the year and forgive me the strike price, because we're going back like 30 years. But in the early 90s, I had a lot of money and traded the markets a lot. And I kind of recognized a pattern that it seemed Apple Computer always went up, and it was bouncing between like 38 and 70. And again, the numbers are going to be a little bit off, but I bet you can go back and look at the chart and it'll be somewhere similar to what I'm talking. And it was October, and I started accumulating calls, and they were either January 40 or 45s. I think they were 45s. January 45 calls on Apple Computer, because I thought it was probably going to go to 70 by February or what have you, because that's what it did a lot. And I started buying them, and I kept buying them, and I kept buying them. And I don't know how much I put into them, but I had a whole heck of a lot of them. And Apple Computer, I believe, came out with earnings on a Thursday night before option expiration. And I kid you not, the stock was trading at like 44 and a half or 45 and a quarter, right around the strike price. And I apologize for anybody out there that doesn't follow market talk, but this is the story. And it came out with a huge positive upside. And in the morning, or the aftermarket trading, it was up like $3 to 48. I'm going, well, and I don't know how many I had, but I had a lot of them. I mean, I don't know. It was a lot. I probably had, 40 or 50 grand of my own money that was at the money. And that if it worked out like I thought it would, it probably would have turned into $500,000 overnight. And the stock opened up on trading on that Friday at like 47 and a half or so. And I'm going, that's pretty good. I'm making some money. But I bet you the stock rallies into the close. I bet the stock rallies into the close. And throughout the day, it kind of just was tired and traded and ended up closing about flat on the day at like 44 3/4 or wherever it had opened. And I remember watching that, and my 50,000, which in my mind could have been $500,000 because I thought I hit the home run, ended up at zero. Ended up at zero. And I think our Christmas party was that night, and I didn't go. And I was too emotionally attached to this position and to this money, but I was mentally crushed by this, more than the financial loss. More than the financial loss. I felt I'd been right. I was right. I was going to hit a home run. I was going to go woo-hoo-hoo, run around the office high-fiving people. But instead, I just kind of left. And I tell you what, I was way too emotionally exhausted. I think my parents came over, and I lived in this cool apartment in downtown Chicago, and I was just kind of crying, going, and again, it was more than the money, because I'd lost money before. But I think it was like my emotional attachment to the position and to the idea that I had to be right, and that I was right, and that I wasn't going to get rewarded for it. So, was I really right at all? I don't know. Yeah.